what on earth happened last night in that Lakers-Spurs game? Welcome into the Lakers Report by Chat Sports. Jeffrey Cooperstein here, and it was a very disappointing loss for the Lakers last night against the Victor Wembanyama-less San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs lit the Lakers up last night on the offensive end. You had Stephon Castle go for 30. You had a couple of other guys who had really good games for the Spurs, but man, the Lakers have an issue, and their issue is that they cannot guard anybody. Lakers are 2-3 in their last 5 games. They've alternated wins and losses, and this squad really does have a glaring issue that needs pretty immediate fixing if they want to do anything this season. And I think JJ Redick is aware of this. I think the Lakers themselves are aware of this. So they're going to have to find a way to dig in and start guarding people better, because over the last 5 games, it just has not been pretty. They had one good, solid game of under 120 points, and that was their win against the Philadelphia 76ers. Last night against San Antonio, 132 points allowed. Against Phoenix, 125. They gave up 120 in a win against Toronto, and Luka missed those Toronto and Boston games. But look, they have not been good defensively this season, and I think it's an alarming trend that LA is going to have to figure out how to fix. And the way I see it, the problem with this squad is you are extremely limited on the defensive perimeter right now with the starting lineup the way it is. And the starting lineup, while with all the offensive firepower that it has, it absolutely does have its limitations on defense. With Luka and Austin Reeves in the backcourt, LeBron and Rui at the forwards, and DeAndre Ayton at the center, you just look at it on paper. Who is going to defend when you look at this starting 5? Luka, not a great defender. Austin Reeves, a horrible defender. LeBron is 40 years old. DeAndre Ayton can't go out on the perimeter. That leaves you Rui Hachimura as your only versatile defender who can guard both he can guard out on the perimeter, and he can guard some of the bigger guys inside. It's concerning, in my opinion, that JJ Redick has this squad giving up 120 plus points a night over the last 4 games. And how do they fix it? Is it a starting lineup change? Is it a change in defensive philosophy? I really don't know, but they're going to have to find a way to figure out and how to get out of this rut, because if this trend continues, the Lakers are going to lose some more games if you have to put up 130 points a night just to give yourself a chance to win. The Lakers are absolutely capable of doing so, but it's not a way that you want to win in the league. So I'm pretty concerned right now on the Lakers defense at the moment. I do think it's a problem, but what say you guys down there in the comment section? What is your concern level on the Lakers defense? Scale it from 1 to 10 down in the comment section. I won't lie to you. I'm at like a 7+ because I do think that this is a real problem that the Lakers have to face, and it's something that I think they're going to have to address via the trade market. So Rob Pelinka, JJ Redick, keep your ears out, because you are going to have to find someone to improve this team's perimeter defense. Look, Marcus Smart is your only real true perimeter defender, former defensive player of the year. He's obviously aging a little bit, but he still has the juice to go out and guard on the perimeter. Do you find a way to get him in the starting lineup? I don't think it is via moving Austin Reeves to the bench. And I know that Rich Paul, who more or less is the shadow GM of the Los Angeles Lakers, said that the best thing for the team would be to move Austin Reeves to the bench and be that 6th man. I don't see the Lakers and Redick doing that, because I think JJ values having multiple ball handlers on the court. And when you have Luka, when you have AR, when you have LeBron on the court together, that does give you the ball handling versatility you need on the offensive end. Smart did play 28 minutes last night, had 26 points as well. And any offensive contribution you get from Marcus is going to be positive and gravy, because you're going to need his constant effort on the defensive end. You might have to increase his minutes from 28 to 33, 34 if you want to have a chance at stopping some of the better guards in the West. And boy, are there a lot of good guards in the Western Conference. So that begs the question, are changes coming? Is JJ Redick going to alter that starting lineup? I think if he did, it would end up being Rui Hachimura coming out of the starting lineup instead of Austin Reeves, and you put Marcus Smart in. So you would have a lineup of Luka, Reeves, Smart, LeBron, and DeAndre Ayton. Is that formidable? I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe maybe JJ Redick would have the stones to put Austin Reeves on the bench. And Reeves would still play 35 minutes a night if he was coming off the bench. Don't get me wrong. It would just be in a different rotation. But with Reeves on his contract year and how well he has shot the ball this season, despite not having a great game against San Antonio, I don't see his removal from the starting lineup anytime soon. So I would guess it would be Rui that would be removed, but we'll see if JJ Redick wants to make that move over the next couple of games. Let's monitor this Lakers defensive situation, and if it gets worse, you might have changes coming from Lakers head coach JJ Redick. I have a question for you guys, though. Do you want more Lakers videos? If you do, hit that subscribe button. We're here at youtube.com/LakersTV covering all of the latest Lakers news and rumors, and we have you covered on some trade rumors as well. So hit that subscribe button because things could get spicy around the purple and gold. And coming up, we have some trade rumors on a wing, someone that would help the Lakers defensive situation significantly. We'll talk about it here on the show in just a moment, but today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks, where you and I are making decisions every single day on what games to watch, what food to eat, what gifts to buy. Well, on PrizePicks, making those right decisions can get you paid. You have the playoff pushes, the basketball matchups, all here on PrizePicks, and I absolutely love playing PrizePicks, where it's super easy to play. All you have to do is download the app, and you just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. You can watch your winnings roll in. They do have a new feature on PrizePicks, which is early payouts, meaning if your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Is your fantasy season over? Mine's not. I got a bye week in the playoffs this week. But with PrizePicks, you don't have to wait until next year's draft. PrizePicks lets you play fantasy football every week, pick your favorite players, and win when they hit their projections every single week. No draft required. I do have a football projection for you guys here. I'm going to take the more on A.J. Brown receiving yards, and I'm also going to take the more on Jonathan Taylor rush yards. The Colts going to rush the ball a lot with old man Phillip Rivers potentially starting for them at QB this week. You can copy my picks or make picks of your own. Just do it over at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS for $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, that is code CLNS for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Are the Lakers going to try to make a trade for Herb Jones? I have seen multiple NBA insiders discuss this as a possibility, from Jake Fisher to Bill Simmons, and a couple of other NBA insiders as well have mentioned Herb as a possibility for Los Angeles. So let's take a look at what Herb could bring to the purple and gold. I like Herb Jones a lot, the player from the New Orleans Pelicans, who this season is having a pretty solid year, where he's averaging 10 points and 4 rebounds, over a steal and a half a night as well, shooting about league average from 3 at 34.7%. He starts most of the games for the Pelicans, where he's averaging 30 minutes per night as well. So he's a guy who can take on a heavy workload, as he is in New Orleans, for a really, really bad team, by the way. And he is a guy who, alongside Trey Murphy, which, believe it or not, is one of the best wing duos in the league of Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. And there's been a lot of trade rumors surrounding both of these guys for a long time. But Herb Jones, the much more gettable of the two. And I do think that there could potentially be a deal to be had between the Lakers and the Pelicans to send Herb Jones to the Los Angeles Lakers. I think this would be a fantastic acquisition for Rob Pelinka if he was able to pull this one off. And I think you would insert Herb right into that starting lineup, and that would be a like-for-like switch. You could just take Rui out, put Herb in, and I think Herb is absolutely an upgrade over Rui. So Herb Jones' contract, if you're wondering what that looks like as far as what a potential deal could look like, he did sign an extension. I believe it was this offseason he signed a 3-year deal, and the extension begins in that 27-28 season. It was a 3-year extension. So he's still on his first rookie extension this year and next season at $13.9 and $14.9 million. And then his salary jumps up to almost $21 million, $22. Then he has a player option in that 5th year for $24.1 million. So all in all, you would have Herb Jones for the next 4.5 seasons under contract, and at a pretty affordable rate for a guy who is looked at as one of the better defensive wings in the league with room to grow on the offensive end. I want to get out front of this and say this right now. The trade idea you are about to see is not my idea. This is from Bill Simmons, who I believe is at the Ringer, wherever the hell he is nowadays. One of his crazy think pieces where he thinks this deal could get it done. Dalton Knecht, Maxi Kleber, and a first-round pick. Does he think Nico Harrison is on the other side of the phone? There is no chance in hell the New Orleans Pelicans are taking this deal for Herb Jones. I think it would require at least another first-round pick and probably a player that can actually help you on the court, which Maxi Kleber, who I love, and Dalton Knecht simply cannot. I do think a more realistic trade idea for the Lakers would potentially be throwing Rui Hachimura the other way in exchange for Herb Jones. Hachimura, I believe, on an expiring contract as well. So the Pelicans could take that expiring deal. The Lakers could take in Herb Jones, who they're trying to build with the future anyways. And I think that could be a deal that works out for both sides. Now, so if you're giving up Rui, maybe Dalton Knecht or Maxi Kleber and a first round pick, that could be some sort of framework that would work better. But this one that Bill Simmons has, absolutely no chance the New Orleans Pelicans take this deal. I know Joe Dumars is an idiot. He's not that big of an idiot, and he would not. This would be arguably one of the worst trades I've absolutely ever seen. So I don't think that deal works out whatsoever, but is there a deal to be had for the Lakers to go get Herb Jones? I do think that is a potential possibility for the Lakers. And I do think that would help fix a bunch of the issues that the Lakers have on the defensive end, because Herb can not only guard on the perimeter, he can guard on the wing, he can guard down low as well, and he can mask a lot of those defensive issues that the Lakers have right now. So I think Herb Jones would fill the Lakers' biggest need, which is a defensive-minded wing who can guard out on the perimeter. But what do you guys think? What is the Lakers' biggest need? Let me know down there in the comment section where you guys might land if you are the Lakers general manager. And just a couple of quick thoughts here. I know that Rich Paul had some comments on the Los Angeles Lakers about them not being title contenders, about how he doesn't even think they're going to make the Western Conference Finals. And we mentioned it earlier about how he said he thinks Austin Reeves should be a sixth man. And Rich Paul, what are you doing? You are the most powerful man in the NBA, and I don't think anybody is disputing that. Why are you coming out here and putting out takes like you're Stephen A. Smith, like you're on First Take or Undisputed? We don't need to hear from you in this medium. Just be an agent. Run the league that way. I don't need you to be influencing Lakers on-court basketball decisions. If Rich Paul comes out and says this, that he thinks AR should be a sixth man, you don't think JJ Redick's heard that? Of course he has. He's just putting unnecessary drama, unnecessary pressure on this Lakers team. Rich Paul, just please be quiet. Stop talking. You already got the deal of the century done for LeBron to be paired with Luka. Stop talking. Take your flowers. Run the league from the shadows. We don't need to hear from you. That's off my soapbox here. Sorry, just had to go on that rant for the end of today's show. And that will do it for today's show, y'all. Appreciate you for tuning in I almost said Mavericks today, to the Lakers Report by Chat Sports. Hit that subscribe button for all of the latest Lakers news and rumors. We'll see you soon here on the channel.